Europe Stereotype Explained. I'm getting this one from Living Ironically in Europe. Link in the description below. Please go over and show them some love. Let's get into this video. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. So here we go. Eastern European Stereotype Explained. Here goes.
Eastern Europe. A magical place where dreams, hopes, and aspirations go to die, and ugly British men go to get laid. Its exact location is a bit controversial, as everyone from this group copes and pleads how they're Central Europe, but we all know everything east of Vienna is Russia in denial. Despite this, even though Eastern Europe has played a crucial role in educating the masses on how not to organize their economies, very few people know the accurate stereotypes from the region, and very often resort to depicting everyone and anyone from this region as Russians with slightly different variations. So, to correct this mistake, here are Eastern European stereotypes explained.
Okay, there goes. Hungary.
If there's one country that constantly seems to stir the pot in Europe, then that is none other than Hungary. Throughout Europe, Hungary as a country tends to have a reputation as a troublemaker when it comes to everything and anything political. The EU is going to pass a new law that criminalizes chucking cats off bridges into a river? Well, guess who's gonna veto that one? Who else but Hungary? As a people though, the Hungarians are usually stereotyped as being quite cold, reserved, apprehensive, and don't like to venture out of their own circle. Throughout the Balkans, they're not the most well known for being able to speak a different language other than Hungarian, because of which everyone and anyone makes fun of them for it. Alongside of this, the Hungarians are renowned for their pessimism. No matter how good things are going, how nice something is, Hungarians will always find a reason to think it's not going to last and everything will collapse into misery and suffering. Sort of like my last relationship. This is so prevalent throughout the Hungarian psyche that there is even a saying about this in Hungarian. Sírva vigod magyar, which roughly translates to, the Hungarian is jolly while crying. Essentially, they're like a bunch of emos who instead of dressing in all black and having a questionable hairstyle, have to stick sour cream in everything they eat and speaking a language of the Martians from Mars Attacks. If you've ever seen a man on a hot summer day strutting down the city, rocking the renowned socks and sandals combo, alongside with a white wife beater and a mullet, then my friend, you've encountered a Czech. Throughout the Slavic world, the Czechs are seen as the most composed of the bunch, except for maybe the Slovenians. But we all know what goes on there, so...
I didn't mean to laugh, it's just the way he said, look. If you see somebody in a slippers and a wife beater, then it's definitely sorry. But go back to the Hungarians. I did not know that they don't really speak any other language than their native tongue. That's new to me. But there's a question I have to ask. Is this actually true? Because it's not everything you hear on the internet is necessarily true. So I'm questioning that one. Is it true? Are you guys really a set of people who don't see the peachier side of things? You just think that, oh, it's going good now, so something definitely is going to go wrong next, or it won't stay that way. Pessimistic kind of person? Let me know in the comment section, but... let's move on to the Czechs.
So we don't count them. While other Slavs love to spend their time in bars and pubs drinking the most disgusting, revolting, gag reflex inducing brandy or vodka their grandpa personally spent their weekend brewing and ended up making in a tub whose fumes blinded the entire village for 5 days.
Drma, a to je domaća majku ti jebem. Kad sam je peko, cijela ulica halucinirala 3 dana od isparenja. 40 ljudi prijavilo policiji da je vidjelo boginju Šivu.
The Czechs instead like to drink good old beer.
I have a German accent, and so of course I love beer.
Living in such close proximity to the Germans made them stereotyped as the most functional among the Slavs, and the most stuck up as well. Many even just like to call them Slavic-speaking Germans. And if you're ever in Czechia, don't shy away from saying this to the locals. They'll absolutely adore you for it. If the Czechs are the Slavs.
Listen, he said, listen. I guess it's a stereotype. I guess the topic is going for itself. You understand? Eastern European stereotypes explain, because listen, the beer that they brew is the most awful, revolting. That their grandfather. But it only seems like it's the person, that's the only person standing. Everybody else is falling down to the ground.
The Slavs who have their shit the most together, then the Poles would be the most outraged. Well, in the US, Poles are usually stereotyped as being slow and not having the best of brain function. In Europe, they are stereotyped as the most hyperactive, high-energy spastics in existence. Every time you log on the internet and find some bizarre fever dream-ass clip on it, such as a homeless guy being spray-painted silver, a guy screaming at some poor lost animal in the city, or just simply annoying the tram driver, you just know it originated from Poland. Besides operating on another plane of existence, the Poles are also stereotyped as being extremely religious. Today, the country is one of the most Catholic countries in the world, and by far in Europe. As a result, the Poles tend to take Catholicism quite seriously. This essentially originates from Poland being constantly invaded, annexed, and divided amongst its neighbors. As such, the church was the mainstay of Polish language, tradition, heritage, culture, and literature. Because of this, the church came to play a big part of life for Poles, and as a result, helped in the creation of this stereotype. Now, you think that a group of countries that is located this far east on the continent would accept that they are Eastern Europe, but no, we're not Eastern Europe, we're Northern Europe, we're Nordic, bro, please! But regardless of what their European pronouns are, one thing is for certain. Their food is a cardinal sin against humanity and everything good and holy. If you want your plate to look like something that came out from the chum bucket, the Baltic cuisine is the food for you. As a whole, the people are also known as professional Russia haters. Pray to God that if you ever enter in a competition on hating Russia, that your opponent isn't an Estonian. But considering the Russians more or less try to wipe their entire culture and people off the face of the earth, it's kind of expected. Next up, we have Moldova. Now, if you ever seen someone...
Jeez. Okay, now. I'm trying to digest all guys, I'm trying to digest everything he's saying, but it's not easy when a country go through so much. Sometimes you have to give them leniency. You have to understand where they're coming from, what the cause that they stand for, and what they are constantly fighting for. But the way he explained it, I'm like, geez, you read the food when he showed the food. But I'm like, I won't bash it. I've never had it. So I don't bash a food based on, because appearance, it may not look nice, but the taste of it is amazing. That's all I'm going to say about food from different countries. I will not bash any food until I actually taste it, and then I say it is not for me, because every country has its own different kind of cuisine. Maybe it's not for me, and maybe it is. So let's continue to the next place.
Online describe themselves as Balkan/Eastern European and create content about that region without ever specifying from what country they're from exactly. Then, my friend, you've stumbled upon a Moldovan. Essentially, Moldovans are stereotyped as basically Russified Romanians. Although they might speak Romanian, have the same culture as Romanians, and share the same genes as Romanians, if you're Romanian, good luck trying to decipher anything someone with a Chisinau accent said. They're also known as the world's biggest drinkers as well, and to be fair, if most of your country looked like an endless doomer montage, you'd drink too. It also doesn't help that they are some of the best makers of wine, for which they were known throughout the Soviet Union. Depending depending on whether you're a batshit insane liberal or a completely demented conservative, you either think that the Ukrainians are the most perfect heroic heroes that are fighting to keep our democratic freedoms, and if you so much as say anything slightly critical of the country, you are a piece of shit Vatnik that should go and lick the dirt off of Putin's boots and die! Or that they're the most corrupt Nazi sympathizers in the world, that the global elite, consisting of Klaus Schwab, Biden, Ursula von der Leyen, and Taylor Swift, is using as their pawns in an effort to achieve complete and utter world domination. And Zelensky himself is actually a shape-shifting fascist lizard man who eats US gold reserves for breakfast. However, if you haven't been
What am I watching? What am I watching? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Somebody explain this stuff to me in the comment section.
If you bottomized and take modern political discussion out of the equation, Ukrainians are generally stereotyped as everyone else in Eastern Europe, being cold, living in grey Minecraft blocks, and eating everything and anything that's been stuffed in a barrel with vinegar for half of the year. Amongst the Western world, their women are known for their beauty and charm, therefore the country is a cesspool of wannabe alpha male passport bros that make YouTube videos on how to pick up a trad wife Ukrainian girl, and not one of those icky, stinky, dinky American girls that only know how to charge their phone, twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie. Apparently they also eat a lot of pig lard and borscht.
Once again, I would like to make this very clear. I am gay.
In the past, your average Russian was stereotyped.
Okay, somebody recommended this video to me, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, let's see Eastern European stereotypes explain. I guess I'm going to learn something. But I'm listening to this, and I don't think. Let me know in the comment section if this is far out there, or it's close to the truth, or what it is, because I'm like, what am I watching?
As a cold, goofy man with a thick accent that does stupid shit in the tundra, such as wrestling a bear, driving like a fucking idiot, drink copious amounts of vodka, and pass out in the most random of places. However, ever since Putin just had to go and conquer more territory, because God knows Russia, being the largest country by landmass, doesn't have enough of it, the Russians have started to be stereotyped as essentially an incompetent fire nation that can't even conquer the Southern Water Tribe, let alone bossing say. Brain-dead liberals stereotype them as the second coming of the Huns and as the scourge of the earth, while cognitively inhibited conservatives perceive them as some conservative value-fighting crusaders who are here to free the world from wokeism and slay the evil stinkman Zelensky, who has almost sucked the entire federal can't even conquer the Southern Water Tribe, let alone bossing say. Brain-dead liberals stereotype them as the second coming of the Huns and as the scourge of the earth, while cognitively inhibited conservatives perceive them as some conservative value-fighting crusaders who are here to free the world from wokeism and slay the evil stinkman Zelensky, who has almost sucked the entire Federal Reserve dry. At the end of the day, if you have a pulse, you probably have your own stereotype about these guys. In conclusion,
I guess that is it. So I guess we're from drinking wine to drinking vodka to food that don't taste good, and to some that is calm, and to some that is on another spectrum on the way that they behave, or some that they can divide and conquer. And so that's all I'm hearing, these stereotypes that he's explaining, guys. To be frank, that's what I got out of it, but maybe I might be wrong. So you can enlighten me in the comment section if I'm not getting it or what. Thank you for recommending, and I try to do as much video as I can that is sent my way to check out. So don't get it twisted. I'm here to learn in the process as well. So let me know in the comment section if this is actually, majority of this is actually true, or that is not the case. Love you guys to the max. Be good, be kind, be safe out there. And I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. All right? I did get a laugh out of this one as well, because his commentary was something else. Love you guys. Bye.